Hi class. This is the workbook for Section 7, and Section 7 is just a quick and brief introduction to Revit. So both AutoCAD and Revit are Autodesk softwares, and we know that AutoCAD is generally used for 2D drafting and detailing. It's very versatile across various industries, including architecture, engineering, manufacturing, interior design, landscape design, and much, much more. It's also used for 3D modeling as well, but its primary purpose is 2D drafting. Whereas Revit is a building information modeling or BIM software. So it's more specialized for architecture, engineering, construction, or AEC, and therefore is used for architectural design, structural design, MEP modeling, etc. AutoCAD is geometry based, line by line drawing, and Revit is parametric, it's data rich, and it's object based. So it uses walls, windows, doors, etc. to build the models. So, for example, here in AutoCAD we have a door. And we drew this door. Maybe we created a block out of it, or maybe we imported it as a block. But to AutoCAD, this is just line work. And even if we named it a door, we are the ones that gave it that name. AutoCAD doesn't recognize it as a door. We just know it's a door. Whereas in Revit, if you take this window, for example, Revit recognizes that as a window. So that window is going to have certain properties associated with it. And if I were to take this window and move it across this wall, it's embedded in the wall would automatically adjust with it. AutoCAD is really limited in its collaboration features. So you can collaborate by sharing the files. But Revit, on the other hand, has very strong collaboration features via shared or central models. And so you can actually have multiple users working on the same model simultaneously. And so very strong collaboration features with Revit. The file types for AutoCAD are DWG and DXF, and the file types for Revit are RVT for the models and RFA for the family files. Autodesk Revit is a powerful building information modeling or BIM software used by architects, engineers, and designers to create and manage 3D models of buildings and infrastructure projects. In Revit, a model serves as a virtual representation of a building design. So this is a model right here. It not only defines the geometry of various components, but also conveys the design intent and the logical relationships between elements. So elements such as walls, floors, doors, windows, and structural members are the fundamental building blocks of a 3D model. These elements represent real-world components and are reusable objects that carry both graphical and non-graphical information through their properties. So take, for example, this column right here. It not only is just shaped like a column, but it is recognized as a column, and it's going to have certain properties associated with that. So these might be the material that is used for the column or the strength that the column has. And every element in a Revit project is organized into families. A family is a group of elements that share a common set of parameters or properties. So here would be a group of families, the wall family, and inside there are different elements. And so these elements would have some properties associated with them. It might just be the thickness and the material, but it could be much more than that as well. All right, and so what is BIM? So BIM is Building Information Modeling, and that is a process that uses 3D models to facilitate collaboration and information management throughout the life cycle of a building project. It's a digital representation of a building's physical and functional characteristics. And so I encourage you to follow this link to learn more about BIM. But some of the key aspects are 3D modeling. So that is to create the digital representation of the building. It's data rich, so it's not just visual. It contains information related to the building's design, construction, and operational aspects. And the strong collaboration features, as mentioned earlier, so you can collaborate amongst architects, engineers, contractors, owners, etc. And life cycle management. So BIM supports the entire life cycle of a building from the initial design to eventual decommissioning. So BIM acts as a central data source throughout the entire building lifecycle process. So if you're interested in learning more about BIM and about Revit, the following courses are offered at ARC. There's Design 325, Architectural Modeling and Design. There's also Design 328, Engineering Modeling and Design. There's actually a couple more classes as well, but I do know that these ones both have the prereq of Design 301 with a grade C or better. So in this class that you're taking right now, if you get a grade C or better, you can take you could take Design 325, and you can work a whole bunch in Revit. You can learn all about it, and you can become very proficient in a BIM software. And so there's only one assignment for this section, and that is the tiny home in Revit. And so the purpose of this assignment is to just kind of introduce you to Autodesk Revit and its capabilities in architectural modeling. So you're going to use Revit to create the exterior structure of your tiny home. So you may replicate the design from your previous section, or you can make some modifications as desired. So you want to construct the exterior walls to the correct dimensions, add windows and doors as appropriate, design and apply a roof to complete the exterior, and you can take some screenshots of your model so that way you can include them in your portfolio. And you're going to save your project file as with an RVT extension, and then you're going to submit that RVT file to Canvas. All right, and so I'll go ahead and go over the assignment in a separate video. But yeah, that's all about Section 7 Revit. Thank you.